Aloha and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about controlling our LEDs using a photoresistor instead of our potentiometer that we used in our previous lesson. So what is a photoresistor? Well, a photoresistor is a neat little piece of equipment. Well, actually, first, before we do that, let's look at our component list. So for the component list, we've got the usual suspects plus the photoresistor, one 220 ohm resistor, a 10K ohm resistor, our LED, and some jumper cables. So the most interesting part of this whole thing is our photoresistor. It looks a lot different than this, so I'm going to show it to you in a minute. I'll also show you, and I'll link below in the video where you can go to take a look at the parts list for the project, and you'll be able to see which one that is. So a photoresistor is a light resistive resistor or light sensitive resistor. So as you get more light, you get a change in the resistance that is put out there. So this is really good. You can set up little projects like a, you can have like a lamp that comes on when you make it darker by covering up the photoresistor. So we're going to go ahead and make a little project here. And just to show you real quick, this is what the photoresistor looks like in the schematics. So in our circuit, we're going to build the following circuit, and it's going to look like the following. So we're going to have our power going over here to one end of a 10K resistor, and this is our drawdown resistor essentially. And then we're going to have it connect over here to our pin 26, which is our ADC, as you remember. Then we're going to have it hooked up over here on the with the photoresistor, and we're going to have the ground going over here to ground. Then for our LED, we're going to have it pin 15. It's going to be out. It's going to go across the 220 ohm resistor into the LED and then back to ground over here. So essentially, what's going to happen is as we change the light level in here, we're going to get a different signal. We're going to get a varying signal to here. And then we're going to translate to that to a digital signal, put that out on 15 through, I believe it's going to be through PWM, and then we're going to have the LED get brighter and brighter or darker as a result. So the code is going to be very simple. Actually, let's pull that up over here on on here. So if we look at the code for this, actually let's open that up. And if we go to our 10.4, actually 11.1. So if we look in here, we set up our analog digital converter on pin 26. We set up pulse width modulation on pin 15. We set our frequency to 10,000. And then we're going to be doing a continual loop here. And what we're going to do is we're going to read from our pin 26, and we're going to get that reading, which is a 2 to the 16th, or in other words, it's going to give us values between 0 and 65,535. And we're going to take that and we're going to plug it directly into the 16-bit duty cycle for the pulse width modulator. And then, so that'll go out on 15, which will power our LED. Then we're going to sleep for a second. Then we're going to take another reading so we can get another reading. So if you're trying to change the light levels in that quickly, you'll see a difference. So I'll go ahead and close these two out so that we can take a look at something here. So this is the link for the Freenove Ultimate Starter Kit. And I want you to look through here to identify your photoresistor. This is it right here. And it kind of looks like that, kind of doesn't. If you zoom in on that, it looks a little bit better, but it doesn't really show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share of the video at this point and go down to here, and I'll show you what that photoresistor looks like. This is what it looks like, which to me kind of looks like nothing like what they had in there. So the way you tell is you look at the top of the thing, it looks like this, and oops. Look over here, it's kind of flat, at the top. So this is what you want to look for. So let's go ahead and start building our circuit. So that is going to start out with, let's see, let's run first our LED. That's the simplest thing. We've done this before. So we're going to take our long pin and make sure that we know where it is. It's over here. So that's going to be our power. So we're just going to run this over here. I'm going to put it on the, oops, I missed that too, didn't I? So I'll just come over here and put it like that. That way I've got the, I've got it in pin 25 right there. So it's easy to see. So I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take our 220 ohm resistor right now. I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it to pin 15. So I'm just going to connect this right here. I'm going to put it in pin 15. If I can. So let's see if I've got that right. And I don't. I missed it entirely. I missed it right there. So let me pick up again and put it into there. It's hard to do this when you've got the parallax view. So there we go. It goes right in. And then we have it over here. We take a look. You can see that we've got it in line with that. So that is our power side. Now we're going to take our ground. So for ground, we'll just take a short little wire, and I've got one right here. So we're going to take the other side of it. So we'll go over here and put in here. This is going to go to ground, so we can run this directly over here to the ground pin. So that's covered. Now let's go ahead and start to set up our nifty neato little photoresistor here. So we'll take this and we will bring it to, let's see, let's bring this thing over to here. Let's run it on a number. We'll run it between these two right here. So then we will take one end of it. We need to run ground on it. So let's take ground over here. This should be fine. So we'll take ground and run it to the other side of this. So we have it in the one side, so it's grounded. Now we're going to set up the power. So our power on this will run, let's say from, all right, let's see, our power is going to run from the 3 over here. So we're going to have power run from here all the way down to, let's say a point over here. And from that point, here's where we have to put in our 10K resistor, our drawdown resistor. So we're going to put that in line with it. And we're going to run that over to the line with the photoresistor. So we've got these two. So we've got power to power there, and then we've got this in line with our photoresistor. So now, if we look at it, we've got power running over to here, and then that will go into the pull down resistor. And the pull down resistor is in line here with the photoresistor. And it looks like I have put that in the wrong line here. Did I? No, it's in the same line. It's just very hard to tell. So, yeah, which is in line with ground. So that is correct. So now we need to connect this over here, our resistor here. We need to connect that back to our data pin. So that's going to be 26. So let's go ahead and put in here. And then we're going to run back to 26 over here. Where is 26? That 26. Okay, so that's our ADC. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have, well, you can see what's going to have, what we've got set up with our light here. But the photoresistor side is the interesting part. So we've got our ground here going to ground over here. So we've got power coming in over here. It's going through the pull down resistor. And then depending on the amount of light it gets here, it's going to be giving a variable amount of power to here that's going to be detected by the ADC on pin 26. So when it gets it at pin 26, it's going to look at it. It's going to turn that into a number, and we can use that and send it out on the on pin 15 to power the LED brighter and dimmer according to whether or not we have our finger over here. So let's plug in and see if we smell bacon. No bacon. Okay, so now let's try running our program. I'm going to pull this up. You're not going to see it, but I'm going to go ahead and run it. And we have a very bright light here. So what happens when I put my finger over the resistor? Absolutely nothing, because it seems I've got something wrong here. So, what's going wrong here? Any ideas? I have none. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to pull up our handy dandy little photoresistor page. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a quick, I'm going to throw in something here. So I'm going to say val equals this, because this is really what we want to read here. So I'm going to put this in here, and then we will print that out actually. Just we'll see print val. And now we should be able to see what values we're getting as we do this. So let's go ahead and run it. And I'm getting nothing for, here, wait, let's. So I'm going to stop. So wait, it's, okay, we are getting values through here. So they don't seem to change that much while I cover it. So when I cover it, it's at 60 to 61. I take my hand off, it's between 50 and 49. It's not that big a difference. So what is going on here? We're not dimming that much. So what I think has happened is I may not actually be using the proper resistors here. So I think that I've got the wrong resistors on. So what I'll first do is take a look and make sure I've got everything in use. Yeah, I do have everything there. So I think that perhaps I've got, because when I put a finger over here, when I put a finger over the photoresistor, I've got about 58,000 there. And I release it, I go to about 49,000. So we've got about 10,000, a difference of about 10,000 on there when we go through like that. So you'd think that, this does appear to be working, but the power on the LED over here doesn't seem to be fluctuating. So let's go ahead and I'm going to unplug my power on this, and this will kill the running program. And then I'm going to pull both of my, first of all, let's pull up the charts again, and let's look and see what our resistors were. We had one 10K and one 220. So I pulled these out and I was reusing them. So just to make sure that I am using the proper ones, I will pull new ones. So I'll take a new 10K out and I will replace, or wait, no, that's a 1K that I just pulled. So that is the first problem I have. That's not gonna be of use. So let me set that aside. And I'm going to pull out a 10K, if you can bear with me. And I've got plenty of 220s, but I'll put a 220 down here beside, and then I'll pull out a 10K if I can find it. Oh, here's a, wait, that's a 1K. Hold on, bear with me. I'm looking through my goodie bag right now, trying to find a 10K to use. Oh, I found a 10K. So I will put this And now that I've got everything unplugged, I'm just going to make sure here, I'm going to pull out my things here. I'm going to run one from here. I'm going to run it over here into the line. You're not going to be able to see that too well because I know that I've got the Visual Studio, or actually the PDF screen up right now. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to replace that 10K to make sure that I've got that in place. And then I'm going to replace my other one just for the sake of making sure that I've got the right ones here. So I'm going to take that and connect the, I think I've got that done. Yes, now let's try plugging that back up. And try running it again. Because I think that yeah, so this is a big difference. So the numbers we're getting, I'm still seeing a difference. Like if I hold it over, it goes from 27, 28,000. Yeah, so it's about 14. Yeah, so you do see a pulsing of the light here. It's not that dramatic, but you do see it. So as I cover it, it gets brighter, and as I do that, it gets lighter. So if I was to try to take a light and put a light onto that, and I'm trying to see if I have a light around me. Let's see if I can find a light. Oh, here's a light. So if I was to take a light and put it on there, like this ring light that I have, you'll see that our number drops down to 3,000. And if I turn it off, whoa, we go all the way back up. So as we're getting more light into there, the light dims. And as we have less light, we get, a brighter LED. So this is the thing about so yeah, you can tell. So as I go over, that light gets, well, actually, I just realized I'm not showing you, I'll stop the share so that we're looking at the, so if we do that, notice how we've got a very bright, actually, this is better. I'm going to change my sleep time on this to a little bit more and do it so that we can see the difference as I put the light on it and off. So it's going to be less responsive, but you see I can put a bright light on it and then take it away and then it'll brighten. So we put it on there and it dims, then we take it off, and a second later it brightens up again. So this is how we're going to demonstrate that. So make sure you're using the right resistors. I don't think I properly checked to make sure, but even so, I do think I probably had the right resistors on. It's just that I think that my light source here is not that big a difference. So I was only seeing about a 10,000 value difference between going here and covering up like this. So it wasn't that much of a difference. So if I use a bright light on it, I will see it dim considerably, and take it off and it'll brighten up. And then put it on dim and then take it off and it'll brighten up. So that's good. So that's what it's doing, what it's supposed to. So you have right here an automatic night light. So as it gets dark, your light comes on for you. So that is very neat. So this is using a photoresistor. So that's a very nice thing in that it automatically dims your light for you, depending on the ambient light. So again, if you're testing this at home and you notice that you're not seeing much of a difference on your LED, it could be that your resistor is off. It could be just that you don't have a bright enough light source. So if you have, right now I'm using my phone, that's what's taking this video, so I can't really use my light, my phone light to just kind of single that out. But if you can put like a little pen light or something on there, that'll really give you a big difference in it. But yeah, you can cover it up like this, and as we can see, you don't see a big difference in the LED right now. You do see a little bit when I remove it. But again, like I said, I've got a slightly different sleep time going right now. I've got a 0.4 sleep time, but you can see it if I take it off, it'll be a little bit brighter. But you know, to error check, do what I did, which is, and I'll share my screen again. Go ahead and look at your values, print out your values that you're getting in there from your photoresistor, or from your voltage that you're checking there on the ADC. That'll let you know if you're actually seeing a different value or not. So when I cover it, it goes up to 42,000. When I take it off, it goes down to like 20,000. And right now the ambient light from outside is changing. So that's kind of causing a lot of that. So anyhow, if you're doing this inside a room, it may be a little bit harder to see some of these differences. But yeah, this is a fun little project, a learning project. And you know, I like to go through that little troubleshooting step with you there, where I was like questioning myself and my resistors. Again, I think the resistors were correct. I think that just the sensitivity, given the low light in my room right now, is the issue. So anyway, have fun with this project. It's not terribly complicated, but there's lots to learn in here. So enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.